receive is Barney Jr., and Barney Jr. with an opportunity to bring it out, although they are going to rule this a touchback. Dante Dowdell starts the game at tailback. And we'll start it with the run. Dowdell straight up the gut, and Dowdell picked up just a few.
Looking to put hands on pass rushers today.
Raiola on the roll. Raiola with the completion and with a first down.
So that Cadron Jenkins and this Purdue defense can't get a beat on where he's going to be.
Make it to Dowdell. They'll flip it around. This is Barney Jr. You see the speed that he has as Barney now goes gas pedal down inside the 35. Purdue, they have been gashed by big plays, and how about another? They love Ja'Cory Barney Jr.
Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Great play right there. You see the burst of speed as they out-leverage the Purdue defense. You see right there, just a little flip. You don't want to hand the ball to a receiver. They're used to catching just a little flip. And look at the explosive play from this Nebraska offense. Great play call by Marcus Satterfield.
Gain of 31. They say every time Barney touches it, it's like recess. He can take it to the house. He was trying to. Raiola, clean pocket, taking his time, firing across the middle, and that pass is broken up. He is looking for his tight end, and Bedoni. Raiola, scanning. Protection is fantastic. Raiola now flushed and is just going to let this ball drift out of bounds. Ramir Johnson, pass catching option out of the backfield, checks into the game. Raiola looking towards him and trying to slip that football past the linebackers in there too. The big play, Nebraska finds themselves in no man's land here, and they will take a delay of game to give Brian Buschini and Buschini with some backspin on it. Can he get that punt to settle? It looked like it was going to be a dive, and his coverage team just couldn't help him out.
Just couldn't do it. His guys have a lot of confidence that he can get the job done.
Devin Maccabee from the pistol, and Maccabee is swallowed up. There is nothing there for him. Empty it out, and he is looking right there, just as you said. Stepping up in the pocket and delivers. It is broken up. He's looking for Tibbs.
What he brings to this defense.
Crimmins on to punt. The Australian lets one drift out of bounds. Caroline, thank you. You could tell from Coach Rule on down that there was no shot to the confidence of this group as they make the road trip here to Purdue. And a nice cut, nice handoff to Ramir Johnson, who picks up 6 on a first down carry. Raiola scanning the field and firing down the sideline, throwing one up for grabs. Penalty markers are out.
Pass interference, defense number 15. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
Flipping across the formation, it's Barney again. You see the electricity in his feet as he picks up another first down.
Good run, good eyes by Ja'Cory Barney.
Dowdell, the tailback, and Dowdell is taken down after a short gain. It's Karlaftis. Straight up the gut one more time and trying to set up a third down and manageable. Raiola with command at the line, flips it. Emmett Johnson, and Johnson is going to battle right there to that line to gain, and he is going to be about a yard short. Harburg takes the snap. Penalty markers fly instantaneously, and there is movement on the offense.
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. It's still fourth down.
So Tristan Albano is out. He aggravated some off-season injury that he had a week ago. So it is John Hull that is coming out to kick from 42. And Hull's kick is drifting, and he missed it. 0 points given up defensively, despite those 2 drives by Nebraska.
Absolutely. Head coach Ryan Walters, who has a defensive background, has to love the start from his defense today.
We'll see if Purdue can tote the rock. That's what they came in here looking to do. They've been immovable so far for sure. Here's Card, scanning, Card going up top, and it is complete. Brought down by Tibbs, Jerron Tibbs, who climbed the ladder for it, working on Sierra Wright.
That's to muscle it away from Sayer.
Hand it off, Reggie Love, and Love with some space in front of him, takes it out across midfield into Nebraska territory, and Wright, who has been busy, made the tackle. Another give. Here's Love. Love straight up the gut. Hole opens up nicely and down to the 35. Rumbles Love. That's Hartzell. Malcolm Hartzell made the tackle, but Lane starting to open for Purdue. Pickup of 13.
You talk about the Nebraska defense. They wanted to focus on aggressive tackling this week. Didn't do it on that play.
Card. Blitz is picked up. Delivers. It's Tibbs again working the sidelines. Plantar fasciitis, and so that was going to give Wright the opportunity, and now they are to their third corner over there in Charles. Love straight up the gut for a couple, maybe. They're going to mark him after just a gain of 1. Or can they find some points? Card hands it off. Maccabee. They call him Crazy Legs, and the Crazy Legs could not get moving that time. Nebraska defense there to beat him. A group of them.
Seeing if he can get a favorable play.
Card with time, now running out of it, and Card is brought to the ground. The Nebraska defense arrives. It's James Williams, one of the best pass rushers for that group. Only 2 teams in college football who have not attempted a field goal, Purdue and Navy. And Purdue, no good. They still have not hit a field goal. Spencer Porath couldn't exactly get an accurate toe on it.
Hilarious, Jack. I'm in the middle of watching it right now. It is hilarious.
I'll fire that up. Raiola, quick pass outside, complete with room to run, plenty of space to run. And taking it down the sideline is Isaiah Nair. Give goes to Johnson. Ramir Johnson is stopped up for a loss. A loss of 2 in the backfield. It's Cole Brevard who was there to meet him and wouldn't let him get away.
2nd and 12. Let's see what type of down-the-field concepts this offense has.
Raiola from the shotgun has all day, takes all day, and has a completion down the field inside the 30. It's Jamal Banks. Raiola gives. Dante Dowdell, and Dowdell made it back to the line of scrimmage. As you just mentioned, 2nd and 10. Raiola flips it back. It's Barney again, and Barney takes it inside the 25. They give Raiola a couple of plays in the huddle where he can check to whatever he likes once he gets to the line of scrimmage. We'll explain. On a 3rd and 3, he likes the pitch to the outside, trying to gain that edge and unable to. Dylan Thieneman said no. Shot into the backfield for a loss of 2. Barney into the backfield, motion him out. Raiola has a completion, and there's a penalty marker down, but Johnson is into the end zone, and you see the refs starting to gather up. This may be coming back.
Pass interference, offense, number 24. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. After review, the pass was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. Therefore, the ruling on the field of an offensive pass interference is correct. It's 4th down.
Good drives, leaving empty-handed, been the story of this game so far. It's Buschini on to punt. And Dylan Thieneman is back deep for Purdue.
So Nebraska's going to take the penalty again to get a better opportunity to pin him deep.
Delay of game, offense. That penalty is declined. It's still 4th down.
4th and 18, really been a weird game so far. No problem moving the football, just cannot cash in. Thieneman drifts under it to the ground. He will go to secure the possession. We got to see him a couple of weeks ago. Illinois got a good squad this year. Here's Hudson Card. Card batted up into the air. Card, he's going to catch it himself, and now he's going to try to run with it. And the defense is in his face inside the 5. That's a tough reception if you're Hudson Card. Maccabee trying to create some space, and Maccabee running through about 3 defenders, and he's going to pick up a few. Maccabee trying to give a little bit of room here. 3rd and long, just trying to give the punter a better opportunity is Deshaun Singleton who made the stop. Isaiah Castaneda is back deep for the Corn Huskers, and it is Keelan Crimmins on to punt. Crimmins sends it to the 35. A couple of moves. Castaneda is spun down right there at about the 43-44. Emmett Johnson begins the drive at tailback. Fake it to him. Raiola now get it to him in the pass game. And here goes Johnson. Johnson with a couple of moves. Penalty marker flies behind the secondary. We will await that call.
Good job by Emmett Johnson getting available for Dylan Raiola, making a move and getting some positive yards.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 4. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. It's still first down.
Raiola scans, looking deep downfield. Didn't get all of it on this throw, but penalty markers are out. It's Isaiah Nayer who did a great job battling back through the defensive back and getting the call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Back to the air. Raiola looking deep again. Receiver is on the ground. Penalty marker is out. And more contact in that secondary. Nyland Green in coverage. And there's also a penalty marker back behind where Raiola let the football go. So a couple of them.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 0. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Wow, the arm talent is similar. The confidence is similar. Let's see what this Nebraska offense can do.
Fake it to Dowdell. Raiola tripped up and down he goes. Raiola right over the ball, and Raiola trying to work something in the middle of that defense to Jamal Banks. A couple of defenders there, but it will be 3rd and long. It's the sack that backed up Nebraska. Pick up a 4 there.
And that's what's been happening to this Nebraska offense all first half, right? They get an explosive play, then they'll get a sack. They'll get a big play, then they'll get a penalty. And then it just seems like these drive killers, these pre-snap penalties, these mistakes are just killing the drives of Nebraska.
They are 0 for 3 thus far on 3rd down. Raiola pressure in his face, steps up and delivers, and that pass is caught. It's brought in by Ja'Cory Barney Jr.
After review, the ruling on the field is changed to an incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
It is John Hull, missed from 42, this time from 44 yards away. And Hull's kick is blocked. Purdue got a hand on it, and Purdue scoops it up. It's Nyland Green, and this crowd is loving it.
After the play, we have a sideline warning on both Purdue and Nebraska. That's both teams' first sideline warning.
Let's see if Purdue in this offense can take a shot, get an explosive play.
Card gives, and Love really starting to get this Purdue offense going. Here's Love trying to gain the edge and unable to do so. He is stopped up at Singleton, Deshaun Singleton, who was step for step with him. It's a loss of yardage. 0 for 3 on 3rd down are the Purdue Boilermakers. 3rd and long. Rush is 4. Carr tries to step up and through it, and he's able to escape. Now Carr with his eyes downfield has a completion, and on the run is Tibbs into the end zone. Was he, though, beyond the line of scrimmage? Card was immediately making his case. It's a gain of 52, but a penalty marker is out. As soon as Card threw it, he had started having a conversation with the referee.
Illegal forward pass. Offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The penalty includes a loss of down. It's 4th down. After further discussion, the pass was made from behind the line of scrimmage. Therefore, we have pass interference, offense number 4. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, and still 3rd down.
Rush is 4. Card takes his time and fires over the middle, and this is incomplete. Looking for Cam Brown, who tried to get his hands underneath of it and could not. 4th and 24. After all of that, that drive was 3 plays for a loss of yardage, and a loss of 14 yards it was. And on to punt is Crimmins. Send it deep for Castaneda, and Castaneda is swallowed up. Looking for Banks, and right on cue, Jamal Banks draws a penalty, so that will now be 4 pass interference penalties. Make it 5 pass interference penalties on Purdue. 4 of them defensive and 1 offensive for 60+ yards.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st down.
Raiola pumps, now goes back opposite. He's looking for his big tight end. That's Thomas Fedoni. Raiola back to the air, back to his tight end.
He'll eat you up.
Give it straight up the middle. It's Ramir Johnson, and Johnson is going to be a yard shy.
In this defense.
And Nebraska was ready to run it straight ahead. Couple of flags up into the air and whistles before the snap.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
We can't let the environment get to us.
Raiola rushes just 3, taking his time, and he throws a dangerous pass back across his body, but that really is what he likes to do.
It's an incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
Bushini on to punt, and Dylan Wieneman, the star safety for Purdue, is back deep. It's a high punt with some backspin, and this is a beauty. It settles right there at the 6. Give it off, Maccabee moving forward for positive yardage. Give him 5 as he runs into the arms of Deshaun Singleton. Bring a couple of wide receivers in motion. Back to Maccabee, the football goes, and he runs into a group of Nebraska defenders. 0 for 4 on 3rd down, trying to get themselves going, and that is how you do it. Max Clare with the reception. Hartzog in coverage with the best target on the outside, the best pass catcher for Purdue. Gets them in motion. We finally have a 3rd down conversion in this game as Card is met and hammered in the backfield. Ty Robinson, all 310 pounds on him, with a clean look at Card and a loss of 9. Card, quick throw outside, will not work. It's incomplete. 3rd and 18. What else is new? Hudson Card scans the defense. Completion over the middle will not be enough for the 1st down. If you like watching punters go to work, we have the game for you. It's Crimmins into the game, and Crimmins with a beaut that is paired nicely with a terrific play out of Wieneman on special teams. And they were challenging him to get his best football out there. Starting to see it today. Raiola complete. It's Barney, and Barney with the speed, with the space, and with the 1st down. 2 to play in this 1st half. A 1st and 10 for Raiola. And Raiola drops one in over the linebackers, and that is what he can do so well. It's Fedoni, his tight end, who's starting to heat up. Gain of 21. He makes that concept you just described look so easy.
Absolutely. It's the arm talent. That's what we're talking about when we talk about arm talent. It's not necessarily about how far you can throw, but how you can control the football.
Raiola was surprised by the snap that came a little early. He said, I know what to do with it. Flings it downfield. Jamal Banks with the grab and takes it to the 26.
The middle of the field, Dylan Raiola loves to throw the football in the middle of the field. The kid is completing almost 80% of his footballs that he throws to the middle of the field. They're getting all the time in the world to throw the football as he hits Banks across the middle.
Raiola on the ball, incomplete.
But that's what this defense, this Boilermaker defense is gonna have to do going into the second half. Find a way to put some pressure on Dylan Raiola, because this kid will complete every pass if you let him.
Raiola throws one straight over the middle. Penalty markers out. Looking for Nair, Isaiah Nair. It's Teron Grant. Already got a piece.
Pass interference, defense number 12. The ball in place in spot of foul. Automatic, first down.
That is the 5th defensive pass interference on Purdue. Amir Johnson, and Johnson is stuffed. Yanni Karloftis still a little upset about the prior call and letting Nebraska feel it. On 2nd and 10, Raiola towards the end zone, floats one and giving his running back an opportunity, but Amir Johnson can't come down with it. On the roll, buying more time, now flings it out of the back of the end zone. That's over the head of Nair. See if Holt can get this kick in the air. He can. He has another one blocked, and Purdue scoops it up. So a couple of times now, the Boilermakers rising, getting a hand on the football, and you can tell there is just something not right about the kicking operation of Nebraska, and they come up empty-handed once again.
Purdue's come to play football. Yeah, those are the numbers. Let's hope this second half can be a little bit more cleaner for both teams.
Flip it back, trying to set up a little reverse here and able to gain the edge momentarily. And now brought down with some force.
During the return, holding, return team number 21. 10-yard penalty for the spot of foul. It's first down, Purdue.
Maccabee started in motion, gets the football, and gets brought down in the backfield. Pressure shown, and pressure is picked up off the edge, but getting back up onto his feet and back into the face of Card. Flips it to Maccabee, and Maccabee brings it out across the 25-yard line. Card just gonna hand it off, trying to let Maccabee go get it himself, and Maccabee, the mechanic, crazy legs with some fight. Graham Harrell said he's always talking about how he's fixing his car. He's like, Maccabee, I don't even know what a rear view mirror is, man. I have no idea what you're talking about. Back to the ground. And this time it is Reggie Love, the transfer from Illinois. Pressure, that pressure came up the middle. Nice move just to get away and find a target in Tibbs. Ron Tibbs working the sideline on Sierra Wright. Card delivers, it's his big tight end who had some space, got a step, and Max Clare out with Holt there. Play action, Card drifting, and a beautiful pass to sneak it in. It's Drew Bibber, his other tight end, to his backup tight end. A couple of completions to his big guys there, and tackled by Monty Weller.
That's a confident
Jay Sherman.
That's a confident throw by Hudson Card right there. That's some of the skill set that's gotten this entire Purdue coaching staff so excited about this kid. You see Bibber right there just making himself available for Hudson. But when you have guys in your face and your ability to step back and still layer the ball over defenders and make an accurate throw.
Card, extended handoff, and gets it into the arms of Maccabee, who is right at the line to gain there at the 45. 3rd and an inch. Maccabee, never in doubt, slashing through that offensive line. Here is Love. Love is going to pick up 4 off the left side of that offensive line, running behind Corey Stort as well as Musa. On 2nd and 6, Card looks, fires, complete. This is Love, and Love able to break 1 tackle, and he's going to be a couple of yards shy of 6 offensive linemen in the game. Give goes the Love. Love trying to plow ahead, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage and doesn't get much beyond that. Special teams, it has been an adventure. Here's Spencer Porath coming into the game, and they already have a missed field goal thus far. Porath, can he get us the first points? Yes, sir. Points of the afternoon, courtesy of Spencer Porath. Ben Freehill on to send it deep. And it is Barney that lets the football drift directly over his head. And what's been the story of the day offensively for Nebraska? How do you see it?
Well, it's really been situational football. You look at them being 0 for 6 on 3rd down. They're getting a lot of yards within the offense, but it comes down to the 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. Can they get the tough yards?
Sure has. This time on 1st and 10, it's Emmett Johnson, who they felt like earned more responsibility and carries out of the backfield. Gets one here and runs into Kadron Jenkins. Barney in motion. This has been a favorite play, but this time nowhere to go. That is Joseph Jefferson, who made the tackle. A little pushing and shoving there after the whistle. A flag is out. Crowd is booing. They have seen these all afternoon.
I think these referees' arms are getting tired.
I'm getting a little tired, Mike Brown.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Defense. On 42 for taunting. 15-yard penalty for the succeeding spot. Automatic. First down.
Yeah, I think he meant to say 32 on Joseph Jefferson right there. Referees aren't having that today.
The 10th Purdue penalty for 120 yards. So despite the tackle in space, Nebraska on the march, and Emmett Johnson with more positive yardage on a 1st down carry. Dante Dowdell checks in at running back. Dowdell with the carry, and he is going to push the pile for that 1st down to the 35. Barney in motion, pump it to him, looking to go downfield and firing it downfield, and there was contact all the way on Jamal Banks.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
Yeah, defense coordinator Kevin Kane told us that Nyland may be a little rusty on his way back, but this kid is not short on confidence. He understands how good he is, just got there a little too early, didn't look back for the football. He's a good player.
Raiola gives. It's Johnson. Johnson with a nice cut, makes a man miss. How about another? And takes it down to the 11. Dowdell gets it. Thought about the edge, cuts it right back up towards this Purdue defense, and picks up that 1st down. It's Berglund who got him on the ground. Dowdell met at the line of scrimmage and swallowed up by the front of Purdue defensively. Raiola end zone, throws one up, and it is batted up into the air and then eventually broken up. Great play defensively made by Barkevius Brown.
See him playing the nickelback position.
Raiola, end zone touchdown, Jamal Banks. Goes back to his 2 favorite targets. First, it's Nair. Can't get him the ball. Straight back for Banks, and yes, sir.
Great throw by Dylan Raiola. The young kid, you're going to get all of these guys sitting at the goal line. Then you're going to get the high-low right there, providing a lane for Dylan Raiola to throw this football. Again, a layered throw throwing it over the underneath coverage. You see Fedoni right there almost jumped to try to get the football. Touchdown, Banks. Dropping it right in the breadbasket to Jamal Banks.
Bushini hits a low liner that is in for the touchback. Card brings his tight end in motion. The give goes directly behind it, and there is zero room to operate. That's Reggie Love, who ran into a trio of Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Tough to run the football in the middle of this Cornhusker defense. You see McGahee right there. We know who his dad is, Willis McGahee. It's a legacy name right there, making the big-time tackle. But that's the strength of this Nebraska defense, right down the middle with those defensive tackles and the linebackers.
Card toward the sideline, dangerous pass, and they're fighting for possession of it. And coming down with the football is Tibbs. Jerron Tibbs was there. Sierra Wright was trying to wrestle it away from him, but Tibbs would not let go of the football, gained 6, and now Wright is going to take a seat. He's been struggling physically throughout the course of this game. Reggie Love, the tailback, is in motion. Pressure comes. Card trying to avoid the rush. Card is devoured for the sack. Pressure coming from every direction. M.J. Sherman, Kai Wallen, they combine to get Card on his backside.
It's a good pass rush.
Keelan Crimmins on to punt, and he hits one with some backspin toward the sideline, and that is Castaneda, who comes up underneath of it, out of bounds. Flip it back. The double reverse here. And the double reverse has a little bit of room to run for Jalen Lloyd. A penalty marker is down. They've been setting that play up by getting Barney their football on the end around, and that time Barney pitched it.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 18. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's still first down.
Well, 1st and 20. Raiola setting up a short pass right over the middle, and it's complete to his tailback. That's Emmett Johnson. He's been earning more playing time recently. It's 3 running backs that you'll see out of this Nebraska backfield. A couple of them can catch. Johnson and Johnson, Ramir Johnson as well as Emmett Johnson, and Dante Dowdell for the hammer.
Yeah, Dowdell more the hammer. You see Emmett right there just getting out on a little bit of a sneak route. Looks like Nebraska's going to be content with letting the quarter end. Yeah, Jack. Thanks for the minute.
Gotcha, my friend. Raiola looking downfield, looking for more points. This is complete. Jamal Banks, who caught the touchdown, takes it inside the 40. That's Berglund, who was beat. Emmett Johnson in at running back. Johnson breaks a tackle. Now Johnson with room out in front, and he takes it inside the 30. And Dieneman left the field, looked a little shaken up. We'll check in on Dillon. 1st and 10. More body blows, more ground game. It's Emmett Johnson moving forward, and Berglund taking the tackle. 3rd red zone trip for Nebraska. Raiola complete down to the 5. And tackled right on the spot is Isaiah Nair. Joseph Jefferson, the free safety, made the tackle to save the touchdown, gain of 14.
Dylan Raiola's doing a great job with his eyes. Looking to the right, understanding that he wanted the hole to the left. Look to the right to move the coverage, and then throws a dart to Isaiah Nair right in the middle of the field. It's a good play concept, even better throw.
Raiola to the line quickly, snap, give, and trying to gain the edge. Fake it to him, and Raiola throws this ball into the ground. Didn't like what he saw and just got rid of it. 3rd goal, trying to go up and over the pile. It's Ives trying to extend the football, but Purdue defensively right in front of the student section rises up to meet him.
Playing the clock right now, letting the clock go down. He has a lead. Understand this game is about clock management. See what they come up with during this timeout.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The run was short of the goal line. It's 4th down. Nebraska has charged their timeout, and they lose their challenge for the remainder of the game.
Inside the one, Dante Dowdell in the game at running back in the I formation. Dowdell straight up the middle and in for the touchdown. 9 plays, 63 yards, 5:30 melts off the clock, and John Hull sticks it through for the extra point. Average yards per drive for Nebraska 47, for Purdue just 15. Purdue has to put together something, and it has to happen right now. Elijah Jackson content to let that ball drift over his head.
Must-score drive for the Purdue Boilermaker offense. Let's see if Hudson Card can use his legs, be dynamic, create some explosive plays.
Nebraska showing pressure, and they are bringing pressure. Card reads it. And to the outside, he finds Jerron Tibbs.
Jerron Tibbs has had a big-time day. Some explosives downfield, some run after catch. Again, one of the more versatile wide receivers in this Boilermaker offense. See Sayer right there. Still in the game, been banged up. It's been challenged all day. He stepped up to the plate.
Card gives Maccabee with a little room and a little push. And Maccabee picks up 4, set up a 3rd and 1 for Purdue offensively.
3rd and 1 for Maccabee. You see Tibbs right there who came out on that last play. Just a little banged up. He's been the top dog on the receiver side for this Boilermaker offense today.
Maccabee, a flag is down, but Maccabee picks up that 1st down pending the call. This may be coming back.
Personal foul, shot block, offense, numbers 53 and 77. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still 3rd down.
Definitely a penalty.
12 penalties on Purdue. Another flag is out. A free play and trying to take a shot is Hudson Card, but cannot find Rigby. Shamar Rigby, the intended target, couldn't get his hands out there far enough.
Offside, defense, number 48. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
3rd and 11 for this Hudson Card-led Boilermaker offense. Have to have it if they want this drive to continue.
Pressure comes. Card sees that pressure picked up, firing for his tight end, and he had him. Max Clare on the post and could not come down with it. Malcolm Hartzog Jr. stride for stride in coverage and did just enough to get that ball free.
Did Malcolm Hartzog, did he get his hand in there and knock that ball out? I thought for sure this was going to be a catch. Big time defense right there.
Keelan Crimmins has been busy, and Crimmins hits a high punt towards Castaneda. And a fair catch called for at the 32-yard line.
You're at Nebraska. You know they're going to control the line of scrimmage. You know they're going to run the football. Tough to turn down passes when you have a talent like Dylan Raiola throwing the football.
Raiola on the roll, looking for Ramir Johnson, and Ramir with the football down the sideline. Those two have each other's cell phone numbers. They'll text each other congratulations after a win, after a Saturday or a Sunday victory, and so the relationship is being formed. And a give here to Ramir Johnson, who picks up 3. And his quarterback coach, his offensive coach, was John Kitten.
Oh, wow.
NFL experience right off the rip. This is Emmett Johnson, and Johnson with a couple of cuts. Woo! And then a flag comes out. Wow. Another flag. Why not?
Matt Rule is upset.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, offense number 4. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct foul on the Nebraska head coach. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the succeeding spot. It's 2nd down.
Raiola setting up a screen with plenty of space out front. This is Johnson, and Emmett Johnson makes up for that lost yardage. How about another flag? at the conclusion of that play, right where Emmett Johnson was brought down by Jeffrey Mba.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 0. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic, first down.
How about 23 penalties? Look at the yardage next to it. This has been absurd. Handoff up the middle. It's 21 Emmett Johnson who's starting to get going. Barney across the formation. Barney gets the football, gas pedal down, touchdown, Ja'Cory Barney Jr. 25-yard zip.
Another speed sweep by Ja'Cory Barney. Right here. Again, there he is right here. He's going to take the ball around the edge. And this receiver blocks 2 and just clears the way for Ja'Cory Barney to walk into the end zone. Big-time play design by Marcus Satterfield.
That was Alex Bullock out of Omaha, Nebraska, that threw the block. Extra point is good, and Nebraska is cooking. That's John Hull there on the extra point. 5 plays, 68 yards, 2:57 off the clock.
That's kind of stymied this Nebraska offense. They found the end zone on the last couple of drives.
So everybody wants the single digits, it sounds like. Caroline. Hudson Card slides down after a gain of 3.
I think it sends a message to your locker room when you're a head coach.
Flag is out and an interception. It's John Bullock, one of those single-digit men. Pick 6 for number 5. 35-yard interception return to the house for big John Bullock.
Great play by John Bullock. Just taking his zone drop, being in the right place.
Illegal shift, offense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Another penalty on the Boilermakers as Nebraska's defense starts to celebrate. John Bullock again, pick 6, coming off a week last week when he had 9 tackles, a sack, a tackle for a loss, and a forced fumble. The do-it-all linebacker out of Omaha, Nebraska, finishes the play with a touchdown. Great job.
And the pick 6 is all too familiar for Hudson Card. On for the extra point is John Hull. And that is true. They felt like John Bullock was already playing at an all-conference level. As Caroline told you, he had earned that number 5 with toughness, but he had been great in coverage, too. That was something that the coaching staff and defensive coordinator Tony White was bragging on him about. Card just going to keep it himself and try to run for it, and he will pick up about 9, going straight through the teeth of that Nebraska defense and using his legs a little bit. I haven't seen much of that.
Yeah, hadn't seen much of it today, but that's what we call a drive starter. That was a designed quarterback draw just to get this drive going a little bit.
They give him the first down based on the spot. Now Maccabee, and Maccabee running through what the arm tacklers, and he's picking up 5.
Setting the standard for today.
Card under pressure, and Card is sacked. The defense continues to flash into his face. M.J. Sherman got him for the sack. 3rd and 11 for Hudson Card. Card drops, puts one up top, and maybe his best throw of the day, complete to Max Clare as he fits it in just over the defender's outstretched arm.
Big time pass right there by Hudson Card as he layered it over the defender, gets it to his top target at Max Clare. He's running just a little wheel route right there. Jeremiah Charles on the defense.
Card, one more completion. It's Shamar Rigby with the grab, and Mekhi Bayer who made the stop. Card pressured. Card trying to step up and through and nowhere to escape. Another sack for the Cornhuskers.
So that they can be rushing the passer.
That was the 5th Nebraska sack. Motion before the snap. It looked like Nebraska jumped off sides. A completion to Drew Bibber.
Offside. Defense number 17. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Complaining about penalties.
Card trying to keep some forward momentum alive, and back to Bibber, his tight end, Drew Bibber. Back-to-back completions for him, and John Bullock made the tackle.
Yeah, and that's what Hudson needs to continue to do. I know this game has kind of gotten away from the Boilermakers, but just going forward in this season, just continue to take what the defense gives you and use your legs when you can.
Card on a slant route, sneaks it into Cam Brown, and Cam Brown ducks in under the 15. They had Notre Dame waiting on the other side of that bye. They really get punched in the nose by Notre Dame. Then Oregon State back-to-back, and now with Nebraska on their home field, it's 28-3. Card hands it off. Maccabee up the middle, and Maccabee got nothing. That's Davis who got him on the ground.
Yeah, Jack, and it doesn't get much easier for the Boilermakers coming up there at Wisconsin next week, and then at Illinois, who has a big game against Penn State on NBC later on this evening. But they're going to have to find a way to get some wins and get some explosive plays offensively so that they don't lose confidence in this season. But they just hadn't been able to get over the hump and find a way to win these games against more quality opponents.
Card firing end zone, and that is caught for the touchdown. Leland Smith. And a little squib kick is scooped up easily by Nebraska. And it still felt like this team could really play, as we have a new quarterback checking in Harburg, although we saw him attempt to catch a pass in the first half. You see why they're throwing him the ball. He's a tremendous athlete. Another carry. Raiola, who was lining up at receiver, because why would you take him out?
Good performance by this Nebraska team.